Shalom. This is another episode of Performing Arts. This is Prince Shemai Basar. And I just want to, this is just short but sweet. And this is Deuteronomy 30, 11 to 19. So ponder on this. Shemai Yasha'Allah. Deuteronomy 30, verse 11 through 19. For this commandment which I command this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. Okay? For this commandment which I command this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. That's spiritual, because this, wherever you need guidance or whatever you understand what's happening to you, turmoil, the curses that's upon us, okay? These laws protect you. These laws are like corals. That's why in the scriptures it said to wear it around your heart and close to your heart. Okay? Because in these scriptures is life and death. Okay? And then it says, it is not in heaven that thou shouldst say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. Right? Because these scriptures is right, it's laid down for you. And not only that, you got prophets that telling you how they're rehearsing the righteous acts according to the law. Okay? So don't say that you didn't hear it, and don't say you didn't know, or you don't know, and you don't understand. Even the churches, in somewhat, even though a lot of all of them is messed up, but they do got one thing right: the words of God that's coming out, that's being manifested. It's just that we don't apply it. And then it says, verse 13, neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldst say, who shall go over to the sea for us and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it? Right, same thing. Verse 14, but the word is very near unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayst do it. Okay, because remember, first and foremost, you got a conscience. Okay, that's in you. That sometimes when you go off and you do something, that conscience comes into you and say, yo, that shit is foul, what I'm doing. It's wrong what I'm doing. I know I shouldn't do that. And a lot of us get that, but what we do, we fear to ignore it because we want to either fill out that desire. Because that desire has such a great passion and stronghold on us, we let that flesh overrule us instead of letting the spirit rule us. And the spirit is what? The law, statute, and commandments. That's why when you have the bottom of your fringes, it's to remind you, I believe that's in Numbers. It tells you that anytime that you should always wear those fringes on it, it reminds you of those laws. Okay? So when you're starting to go off, it's like, oh, man, those fringes remind me, man, I shouldn't be doing that. I shouldn't be lusting over that woman. You know what I'm saying? Of that man's wife. I shouldn't be covenant over that man's of the things that he have. Okay? I shouldn't be jealous of my brother. Okay? I fret not of the wicked ways of the evildoers. I believe that's Psalm 37. How you seem like the next man, the people that's not following is like they doing better than you. That is a sin too. Because you saying like, damn, man, these niggas getting everything and I don't get nothing, man. And I'm following the Lord. But be patient. But the house has said, oh, you with little faith. Be patient. Because your mind should be meditating on the kingdom of heaven, which is coming. Okay? Then it says, verse 14, but this word is very near unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayst do it. Verse 15, see, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Wait a minute. Let's meditate on that. See, I have, verse Deuteronomy 30, verse 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. Even in your oppression down here, where we at, scattered abroad, our people, these scriptures is life and good. Okay? These laws. Okay? I mean, why would it be just put there? Just to put there and just have no benefit for it. Okay? Why is this Bible the #1 book sell in all times? Okay? because it has power in it. Now all of a sudden they want to take it off the market. All right? Because if you look around, this world is in chaos. So now they want to ban the Bible and they want to cause confusion. What is one of the word confusion? Without a vision, the people perish. This Bible is a vision, okay? And this Bible tell you how you should live in your life. And this Bible tell you what the things that happened to people in the past, okay? And you can use it for the past and the present, okay? It tells you future events that you can see that's taking place in front of your very eyes. It talks about this RFID chip. It talks about martial law. It talks about Jacob's trouble. It tells you how to deal with a wicked child, how to test his spirit, and what you should do. It tells you how to guide your household. It tells you about to watch out for a woman that has a Jezebel spirit, the spirit of Satan. Okay? So that's the kind of woman that you don't want to be around. That's the kind of woman that you don't want to marry. Okay? So it's a guiding, it's life. Okay? And it says, and death and evil. Okay, death and evil, you go the other way. If you ignore these things, you have a bad decision of picking out a wife. Because you won't be picking it out according to the scriptures. You'll be picking out a wife according to the world. Okay? And anything that we pick from the world, it always fails us. And that's what I'm going to do on my next video about running under the shadows of Egypt, which is so-called America, and wherever we are scattered abroad, being oppressed. It says in verse 16, in that I command thee this day to love thy Lord, thy power. It says God, but I say power, for I read it for verbatim, just for edification. To walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou may live and multiply. Right, that thou may live and multiply. When you think about your kids getting shot down in the streets, okay, now, or your kid is being incarcerated, okay, or your kid is being part of the gangs, okay, that's evil things, right? But when you have a father that's ruling this house and you have a mother that's ruling the house, not on their own way, why don't you try it? Why don't you try it? You try to rehearse the righteous acts to the best of your ability, and what would you do? You raise your kid into this to the best that you can do. You start with the moral laws. You start with telling them there's certain chores that he has to do before he goes out. Okay? He has to pay rent. Okay? These are the makings of a man and a woman through these scriptures. But see, wait a minute. What you like to do is let the TV raise your kids. Okay? What you like to do is let the world raise your kids. Okay? And then what do you get out of that? You get your kids incarcerated. You get your kids dying at an early death. Okay? Before their time. And you get your kid partaking of evil works. Okay? That's evil. What does it say in the scriptures? It says, let me read verse 16. And that I command thee this day to love thy Lord thy power, to walk in his ways and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou may live and multiply. And the Lord thy power shall bless thee in the land, whether thee go to possess it. Right. Now, when you pondering over that, you would see who's following the commandments, which families are following commandments, and most of the time, which family is not following commandments. Now, here's food for thought. You would have, quote unquote, the pagan Christians. I call them the pagan Christians. They read these Bibles, and you would say, oh, they came from a good home training. Okay? But even with that, why is things happening to them? Because they're still in pagan worship. and that is not of the Lord. See, you people try to mix and match and put puzzles together that don't fit that puzzle. You know, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. You try to put a puzzle together that doesn't fit that puzzle piece. It's awkward. It don't fit. Oh, they was a good, wholesome family. He came from a background of the pagan Christian, but they'll say Christian. Why did he get down like that? Why did he get murdered like that? That's still not dealing with the Lord. Even if you follow in the pure doctrine, you still can be taken because the Lord can make you a martyr because that's what he wants from you. You know, so it is what it is with that. But my point is that 98% of these families is not following the Lord's statute commandment. And you're not following Lord's statute commandment just because you're going to a pagan church. You're not following Lord's statute commandments because you're doing a good deed. That's not charity. Charity is preaching this word, sound doctrine, in the way that it's supposed to be preached. Okay? Unfiltered. Pure. Not adding on to take it away. What did it say in Revelation? That a man that adds on to this or take away. Now, you have to understand this. Adding on don't mean just adding on to or taking away. It also means when they say adding and taking away, it's not preaching. You taking away something, you're not giving us full information. So if you're not preaching it or telling the people the way that it's supposed to be told, then you're adding to it. And then when you hold them back, that it says, keep these commandments and my commandments is not burning. And then you got Yahushua in the New Testament saying that what did he say? He says that what does it say? I'm just paraphrasing it. That the laws, in other words, Yahushua even said the laws are not done away with. I believe that's in Matthew. The laws are not done away with. But you saying the laws are done away with. Okay, to what? Most of the time is to prove your point, to make that you right, or to prove your point to fill your belly up. Okay? And it ain't going down like that. Then it says, but if thy heart turn away so that thou will not hear, but shall be drawn away in worship of the gods and serve them. You got churches that's doing Christmas. You got churches that affiliate, you got denominations that are affiliated with Halloween. And they'll tell you the bullshit that it's only for the kids. It's only for the kids. What is going on? Because they're all chasing under the shadows of Egypt. Or if you want to be, they're all running under the wings of Egypt. Okay? They think Egypt is going to protect them. And worship other gods and serve them. I denounce unto you this day that you shall surely perish, and that you shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou possess over Jordan to go to possess it. Now, that was told back then, all right, before they crossed the Jordan, after the Most High showed them great miracles and stuff like that. But that's still in effect today, because wherever you go, when you don't follow these curses, these things is going to be upon you from generation to generation until you get back into following these Lord's statutes and commandments, or following Yahushua, because he is the Lord's statutes and commandments. So even though it was way back then, this scripture is still powerful and present in this time right now and beneficial for us today, for our learning and instructions. You're not going nowhere outside of this. Outside, you're not getting away. You can't run. You can't hide. You know what I'm saying? You must follow these scriptures. You must follow Yahushua wherever he may go. And that's in the volume of the book. Then it says, verse 19, I call heaven and earth to record this against you. Now, do you hear this? Because at that time, when they we read this in camp the other day. That time they said that the people said, when Moses was writing this down to them and telling them about the laws, okay, what the Most High was telling them, they said, Amen, we agree. Don't you know that you could, that was a witness against yourself if you failed to keep those contracts, you signed a contract. Now, we already know what happens when you break a contract. You can even get imprisonment for that. And spiritually, our people is in imprisonment. Is in prison. What happens when you break a contract? You could go to prison. You get fined heavy fines. Sometimes them fines can make you put you so far back, you damn near lose the things that you own. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life. Choose the Lord's statutes and commandments. Choose the ways of Yahweh. Get out of the denominations. Okay? Get out of the philosophies of the modern day Epicureans, Egyptology, Muslim. Okay? And whatever else filthy denomination that's out there. Get out of it. This is your book. That's why it says in the beginning in verse 12 and 13, it's not far from you. It's not in the sea to get this. It's not in the heavens to get this, to hear this word. It's right here in your very eyes. That's why you have watchmen. That's why you have men out there and they constantly preaching what's in this book, the good book. And it says, therefore, this is verse 19, choose life. Choose these Lord's statutes and commandments. Choose Yahweh, that both thou and thy seed may live. All praise is due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Shalom.